I'm going to just start off here fresh and remove all these here, and we'll get going on to how to put together some buttons here for Mach. So you can import any kind of graphic and turn it into a button, anything you want at all, PNGs, TIFFs, anything, just import it and then start your steps that I'm going to demonstrate here on how to create a button. So I'm going to just choose a basic color here, probably a gray, and just create a simple triangle, nothing fancy. And then when clicking on that triangle, I'm going to right click and convert that to a button. I'll also go over how to create a movie clip and have that react like a button, and I'll call this my default underscore BNT. Don't worry about your registration point for this. All this is not necessary, and press OK. Whoops, I've already used that one here. So let me call my default 2 underscore BNT, and you can see I had my movie one. I'm going to delete that out of there. So inside of here I have my button, and now the difference when I double click in here is now I have an up, over, down, and hit state. So normally in a movie you would just have a timeline, and if you wanted to do a up, over, down, and hit state for this button, for a movie clip to act like a button, then you would have to write in the script to say if over then do this and so forth. But in here this kind of eliminates having to do script. So this is our hit zone. This is the area when the mouse is over this area, it's active and it's considered the hit area. You can make it larger, you can make it smaller than your actual graphic, whichever you prefer. So I just left click, dragged it over. I'm going to left click and drag it back. Now the button exists on all these. So on your over state, I'm going to insert a frame, and on my down state, I'm going to right click and insert a frame. What this does is when the user has their cursor over the top of the button, we're going to change this to a blue. And then that way the user knows that they have that this button is alive and active, and gives some visual confirmation. I'm going to insert a keyframe, and on my down state I'm going to make it red, and I'm also going to right click, free transform, hold down shift, grab the corner, and just drag these corners down, so that way when they hit the button it actually makes a some kind of a physical difference, so they know when it's hit. Now the reason I separate it from my hit state is because I still want my hit state to be the same size. I don't want it to be transformed smaller. So as the user is over the top, it does nothing on the up state. On over, it's going to be blue, and on down, it's going to when they actually left click the mouse on it, it's going to go smaller and change color. So I'm going to double click out of that. So here's my button. Now I'm going to label this on the outside here. And the reason I'm going to label the outside is because I'm going to call this e-stop. This will be my e-stop button. Is because if you want to copy and reuse this button over and over again, anything inside that button is going to be copied, and you cannot change it. You would have to then duplicate that button. But for right now, I'm just going to put the text on the top. I'm going to make sure that it is static text, and then I'll just have it red. So button on top, and it's red. Looks like I got some elements here, so I'm just going to move this out of the way, delete some remnants of what I was doing before, and just simply place my button here in the middle somewhere. So now if I want to test that button without having to publish the movie or go to control test, then I can simply go to control, and there's a shortcut, control alt B, or you can just come up here to the panel and do enable simple buttons. That way I can see what it's going to act like and how it's going to react when I come over here. That way I can see when the user presses it, my red text seems to disappear, so I probably want to change that color, and I'll do a white. And so there's a very simple button, and like I said, you can bring in your own objects and turn that into a button the exact same way I did with this.